This week we have Parshas Devarim, Parshas Chazon. In it we learn Devarim is the beginning of the last testament and will that Moshe Rabbeinu gave over to his beloved people before he passed away, Lifnei Moshe. And in the first pasuk of the parsha, the Torah mentions several places where this Moshe Rabbeinu spoke to the Jewish people, and these are not known places. And according to our sages, these places are not really places where the people lived, but they're veiled references to the transgressions or rebellions that the people rebelled against Moshe Rabbeinu, and Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to mention them to warn them not to repeat them in the future years. And it's interesting to find that Moshe Rabbeinu, in spite of his superlative greatness, that Ish Elokim, the godly man, and no one compared to Moshe, yet he had experienced great difficulties with the people. They were almost in continuous rebellion against him. And Moshe Rabbeinu told him, Mamrim ha'isem im Hashem Elokeich im Hashem Elokim miyom dati esrem. You are rebelling against God from the day that I knew you. And at the same time, we find that in the time of Yeshua, the devoted disciple from Moshe Rabbeinu, when he led the Jewish people, the pupil of Moshe Rabbeinu, the Torah tells us, Vayavdu Yisrael es Hashem kol yimei Yeshua. They served God all the days of Yeshua. While Moshe Rabbeinu led them, they were almost in constant rebellion. And while Yeshua led them, who was much smaller than Moshe Rabbeinu, was a disciple, a devoted disciple of Moshe Rabbeinu, the Jewish people listened to God all the days of his life. How do we understand the strange paradox that in the case of the leader, they were not ready to follow so easily, and in the case of his disciple, they served God all the days of Yeshua? But very briefly, the explanation is, our sages say, that the Pnei Moshe k'pnei Chama, Pnei Yeshua k'pnei Levana. The face of Moshe was like the sun, and the face of Yeshua was like the moon. And of course we know, as the moon has no light of its own, but reflects the light of the sun, so Yeshua reflected the light of Moshe Rabbeinu. Yet we know a big difference. The sun, even in spite of his superlative light that emanates from the sun, it's impossible to look at the sun because we become blinded. While at the Levana, the light is clear and it's very easy and very pleasant to look at the light of the Levana. Which means, in other words, Moshe Rabbeinu was like the sun, that he was so great and so elevated, so superlative, that the people had difficulty to understand him and to grasp him. That's why they could not easily follow him. While Yeshua was k'pnei Levana, like the surface of the Levana, which is easy to follow and easy to look at the light. And then, but nevertheless, at the same time, the light that emanates from Yeshua is not the light of its own, it's the light that's reflected from Moshe, from the sun. Likewise, in the case over here, Yeshua, the reason the Bnei Yisrael served God during the existence of Yeshua, because Moshe Rabbeinu prepared them for it. Because Moshe Rabbeinu put in so much effort and education the Jewish people during the 40 years of the desert, and even though they did not fully understand the outstanding greatness of Moshe Rabbeinu, nevertheless, when the time Yeshua came, it was easy to follow Yeshua, and therefore, by Yavdu Yisrael es Hashem kol yimei Yeshua, they served God all the ways at the time of Yeshua, because it was much easier to understand him and to follow him, and this was as a result of the preparation they received from Moshe Rabbeinu. Thank you very much and have a very good Shabbos.